All right, guys, we're going to start the show. The I Love CVille show here in a matter of moments. Take a look at the screen. We got headlines on screen there, J-Dubs? We got headlines in? Oh, fantastic. Headlines are on screen. Like the show, we're back after a week hiatus. Good to be back in the saddle, and we're looking forward to connecting with you guys through the I Love CVille network. Woke up this morning with the wind and the crisp in the air, and I felt like I was at the beach. Felt like I was in the Outer Banks. Felt like I was in Southampton. My wife calls it sweatshirt or hoodie weather. Certainly was sweatshirt or hoodie weather this morning, and right now, sweatshirt and hoodie weather. It's Judah's kind of weather. Judah loves the cold. He loves the wind.
Yes, this is an alternate reality.
Vanessa Parkhill, thank you. It's good to be back. Vanessa Parkhill, she says, welcome back. Thank you, Vanessa. Like and share the show. Take a look at the screen for today's headlines. We've covered the saga that is the Theta Chi fraternity that had their fraternal order agreement suspended by the University of Virginia for hazing. Now the University of Virginia is trying to really drop the hammer. There were 10 brothers or fraternity members living in the frat house, and the University of Virginia is saying, you cannot live in the frat house. You need to find housing outside of the frat house immediately. And this is in October when leases have already been signed. They're basically trying to make these members homeless. They're scapegoating these members and trying to make them homeless. We will talk about that today. I want to talk about on the show the Charlottesville attorney, and I sent him a LinkedIn message to see if he would come on the show. I sent him a message. Is it Jacob? What's the man's name? In fact, I can look at my LinkedIn message right now. Jacob Stroman.
Yeah.
I said, hi, Jacob. Thank you for accepting my connection. I reached out to see if you would join me for an interview on the I Love CVille show. The interview would be fair and the questions would be open-ended. Do you think you can join us? I have not heard from him. His severance package is pretty significant. We'll talk about that on the Monday edition of the I Love CVille show. A lot we're going to cover today. You have LinkedIn up and running, Judah?
Let's see.
Follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe to the show. I'd like to get LinkedIn live and running. And once we do, we can get the program rocketing and rolling. Judah's going to let us know when that is live. Is my Twitter live there, Judah?
Looks like it's got an error.
Okay,
I'm restarting it.
Okay, restart. Let me know when LinkedIn is up and running, please. Judah's knocking off a little of the rust right now as he's fresh from his Outer Banks vacation, where he was pinkies up, drinking some champagnes and enjoying strawberries and cream. Well, bronzing the bod. Is that a fair description of what you did in the Outer Banks?
Yeah, since we're going with the whole alternate reality.
Let us know when LinkedIn and Twitter are live so we can start the program, please.
This is the reality where Spock's got a beard, right?
There you go. You did get a haircut where you're looking sharp, my friend. Let us know when LinkedIn or Twitter are live so we can start the program on the Monday edition of the I Love CVille show, fresh from a week of
LinkedIn's up.
Enjoying ourselves. Oh, LinkedIn is up. Thank you, Judah. That's excellent. LinkedIn is locked and loaded. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, viewers and listeners, we're locked and loaded. Let us know when Twitter is live, Judah, and we'll rock and roll. Like and share the show. Subscribe to the show. How about that loss for Virginia football? The Louisville loss and the Maryland loss, 2 wins Virginia should have had. Now the meat and potatoes of the schedule. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to start asking yourself the question, where's the next victory going to come from? I want to talk Chief Kotches and I want to talk Cav Crossing today on the Monday edition of the program. Chief Kotches, I did a post on the I Love CVille network about this before the show started, has very low-key stabilized Charlottesville and has had, I think, the most profound impact on the city since the pandemic of anyone in the city. I would challenge someone to offer someone else in the city who has had more of a profound impact. What's the deal with Twitter, Judah?
No idea, but I'm working on it.
Okay, let's go ahead and start the program. We'll rock and roll without Twitter. And then you get Twitter up and running. Please.
Quiet on the set.
Good Monday afternoon, guys. Nice to be back in the saddle. My name is Jerry Miller. It's the I Love Seville show, fresh from a one-week hiatus where we recharged, replenished, and frankly reimagined a lot of aspects of the I Love Seville network. You will see those reimagined aspects materialize over the course of this week as I constantly try to innovate what we do here. I touch on this from time to time on the program. Every month, the I Love Seville network, some kind of capital investment goes into the network, some kind of improvement done. Some you see, some you do not see. Some are as basic as improving the microphones, adding a camera, changing the lighting overhead, adding an additional social media platform that we can stream upon. Others are more noteworthy and marketplace facing, front and center, if you may. You'll see that as the week gets moving and shaking. A couple programming notes. There'll be 2 episodes of Real Talk this week. Keith will join us in the studio on Wednesday. We will also have a Real Talk with Keith Smith on Friday at 10:15 a.m. So 2 episodes of Real Talk with Keith Smith this week. Tomorrow, Nate Kibler's White Mountain Ministries in the afternoon and Jerry Ratcliffe's The Jerry and Jerry Show in the morning. The Jerry Ratcliffe, our sports show, The Jerry and Jerry Show, it's got a lot to cover. Virginia football, there's no moral victories in college football. And UVA should have beaten Louisville. They had a great opportunity to beat Louisville, just like they had a great opportunity to beat the Maryland Terrapins. And neither victory materialized. And now Virginia is going to look at the schedule and it's going to ask itself, where is a win going to come from as we head into the meat and potatoes portion of the schedule? And if you look at a football team that's got 4 wins now, if they scrape out one other victory and finish with 5 wins, that would be 3 wins in Tony Elliott's first year, 3 wins in his second year, maybe 5 in his second year, maybe 5 in his third year. If that materializes, you're going to have a lot of folks asking what the heck is going on. And the most concerning aspect outside of the loss against Louisville was you had a team that was coming in, that was red hot, that was 4-1, that was playing for first place in the Atlantic Coast Conference, that was playing for a top 25 position in both polls. And that stadium at Scott Stadium was maybe 40% full. Maybe 45% full. It was empty. As empty as I've seen for a gorgeous fall afternoon, no humidity, in a big-time football program in Charlottesville and Louisville. I'm not going to make this yet about football and the X's and O's. What I will say is when Scott Stadium is 40 to 45% full, the athletic department, the football program are losing substantial amounts of money every single home game. And that money, that revenue, is what funds the other sports that are contending for athletic national championships within the department. So not turning the turnstile, whether it's the fan base's problem, whether it's apathy, whether it's Carla Williams, the athletic department's problem, that turnstile not turning impacts the other teams in the department and it impacts the economy we call Charlottesville and Albemarle County. You talk to the restaurants, the frontline businesses, you talk the service-oriented businesses, the folks that rely on 15 to 20 good days a year that determine whether the business is going to be profitable in that calendar year. And they say, when the football stadium is empty, we feel it. When we had Hurricane Helene and we had 10 days or 12 days of rain impact Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia, I heard from the small business owners. And they said, Jerry, you relay to your viewers and listeners that our margins are so slim that 18, 25, 30 days a year is what's determining whether we're profitable or not. It's that slim for the small business owner. And I talked about this on previous shows, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a climate in 2024 in Charlottesville and in Albemarle County, where Seville and Albemarle County have gotten so popular for people to pursue living, that you are seeing a flood of folks moving to Charlottesville and Albemarle, working hybrid and remote for companies outside of the market. You're seeing people move to Charlottesville and Albemarle County taking jobs in the data science space or the biotech space. And as people move to Charlottesville and Albemarle County, and have six-figure jobs, whether working for an employer out of market or six-figure plus jobs working for a new employer in market tied to data science or biotechnology, you are missing the hometown, shop local, buy local, support the iconic businesses we want to see survive mentality. That's what's happening to Charlottesville before our very eyes. It's not the gentrification of real estate, it's the gentrification of consumer. The gentrification of shopping habits. New folks move to the area with fat wallets, Scrooge McDuck stacks of gold coins, and they say, it doesn't matter where I buy my goods because I didn't grow up here and watch the iconic businesses persevere, preserve, survive. There's no affinity. There's no emotional attachment. That's a phenomenon that's happening before our very eyes. And that's when the small business owners say to me, we have 18, we have 25, we have 30 days a year that determines our profitability for the entire calendar. Throw in Helene and home football games where 40% people come up for attendance, 40% capacity, and you got a disastrous situation for the small business owner. A lot I want to cover on today's program. We'll give some props to Mexicali Restaurant for being a part of the program. Johnny Ornelas and River Hawkins. Support Mexicali Restaurant on West Main. There's 50 parking spots on site. If you have yet to try Mexicali Restaurant, you're missing what is basically an art museum, a street art museum, fused with a cocktail bar, fused with a music venue, fused with Latin and Hispanic cuisine. They crush it. It's awesome. Try it. Mexicali, West Main Street, Johnny Ornelas, River Hawkins. A lot I want to cover on the program, including, I cannot believe I'm saying this. The University of Virginia, a fraternity on grounds, had their fraternal order of agreement suspended for hazing. I disagreed with what they called, hazing, and I disagreed with them suspending the fraternal order of agreement. That's fine. That's not what this is about. Not only have they suspended this fraternity, the earliest they can reapply for reinstatement is 2028, 2029. They are now telling the brothers that live in the Theta Chi fraternity house, you can't live in this house anymore. We've suspended your fraternal order agreement. Get the hell out of this house. You can't live here. We are evicting you from this house. Theta Chi is saying, you don't own this house. You don't own this land, UVA. What are you telling us? You're evicting us from our house? And UVA says, if you, these 10 brothers, live in this house and continue to stay here and sleep here, we're going to tack on a longer punishment to your fraternal order of agreement suspension. And we're not going to allow you to reacclimate or refraternize until much longer, much later, years from now, if these brothers don't move into the house. The national chapter of Theta Chi is begging UVA, saying it is October. They can't find leases to sign. You're basically asking these members in the house to leave the fraternity and be homeless. And UVA is saying, that's right, get the hell out of the house. We don't own the house. We don't own the dirt your house is sitting on. But if you want ever to recolonize as a fraternity, these 10 brothers are going to get the hell out of their house and basically be homeless. Or we're going to hold you in fraternity purgatory for longer. I want to talk about that on today's program. I want to talk on today's program a doctor, another anonymous doctor. My issue is the anonymity, Jude. I've talked about this. Another anonymous doctor questioning, this one is a different approach, saying the national rankings of UVA Health are bogus. They're saying all this attention that UVA Health is getting from a U.S. News and World Report and all this best children's hospital and best place to work and yada yada this and yada yada that, it's all done in a smoke and mirror system, and the ranking scenario is bogus when it comes to UVA. That was an article in the Daily Progress over the weekend. We'll talk about that on today's show. We'll talk about the city of Charlottesville, the Charlottesville, Virginia city attorney getting $162,000 severance. This man, Jacob Stroman, I've reached out to you via LinkedIn to see if you'll come on the program. I hope you do, sir. I sent you a message. I swear it would be a fair interview. You ask anyone that comes on the program, even Nakia Walker, and they've gotten fair interviews from yours truly. $162,000 the man got to leave Charlottesville. 162K. We'll unpack that on today's show. We'll talk a new update on the Cavalier Crossing apartments off of Old Lynchburg Road. The buyer's an out-of-market buyer is basically feeling pressure from Michael Pruitt and the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors on how they have handled the, what would you call it, the acquisition and the remodeling of Cavalier Crossing. Did the out-of-market buyers do anything wrong? They gave the tenants notification they were not going to renew their lease. Mike Pruitt has said that they should have provided them, what, more heads up, security deposit assistance, a rehoming package of where they should go. I mean, interestingly, the out-of-market buyers, Bonaventure Multifamily Income Trust, said, okay, maybe we could have done things differently. There's a wrinkle to this story. You know what the leverage Pruitt and the Board of Supervisors had? Cavalier Crossing and Bonaventure Multifamily Income Trust is looking to add potentially more apartments to the location. And for them to add more apartments to the location, they're going to need a support and approval and the green light from Albemarle County government. That's called leverage. They got leverage. And because of that leverage, Cavalier Crossing, the out-of-market buyer, is doing things a little bit differently. We'll talk about that on today's program. A lot we're going to cover, including the Lewis Mountain neighborhood deals that have now closed. I'm going to offer some insight into that deal flow, including acquisition price, and we'll respond and react to the Louisville UVA game. Do you have a two-shot ready to go, Judah? Is Twitter not live?
Twitter should be live now.
Oh, you got Twitter live. Get yourself on a two-shot so folks can see the windswept Judah Wickower, what the salt water has done to his epidermis, the bronze bod that is Judah Wickower, who spent a week in the rolling hills of the Outer Banks with his family, enjoying caviar, Dom Perignon, strawberries and cream, and the finest of fillets, charred outside on a grill of green egg proportions. My friend, the vacation looks good on you. Is any of that true at all?
I don't think there's a word of it that is actually true.
Ginny Hu, thank you for the retweet. A little bit of hyperbole. How was the vacation? Let the viewers and listeners know what you did.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good to have you back, Judah. I missed you.
Thank you. Well, we were in the Outer Banks. Beautiful weather. A little bit windy, but nice. Temperature was great. Water was fairly warm, at least after you get used to it. And
the water was fairly warm.
Well, yeah. I'm not sure why that's surprising.
I mean, it's October in the Outer Banks. Nothing like going to the October in the Outer Banks. Go ahead.
Yeah. Had a good time. Got to see the Northern Lights from.
Yeah, that was nice.
From there. I don't think as clear as people were seeing it up here, but it was still an
quite beautiful
surprise. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: besides the beach and the ocean, what element of the Outer Banks? Did you go to Duck? Did you go to Corolla? Did you go to Nag's Head?
We stay in Corolla Light.
Corolla Light. That's a beautiful area.
It's about as far north as you can go without running into the water.
Yeah. Corolla Light's beautiful. It's a beautiful spot. Besides the beach and the ocean, what element of Corolla Light would you like to see here in Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia?
What element of Corolla
One aspect.
Light?
Don't overthink it, Judah.
I don't know if any of the aspects of the Outer Banks would fit in Charlottesville.
Don't overthink it. What aspect of quality of life would you like to see come to Albemarle, Charlottesville, and Central Virginia?
I mean, it'd be nice to have dunes and a beach.
Besides the beach.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
You could say the intimacy. You could highlight a restaurant. You can highlight an experience you had with your family. You could highlight walkability, bikeability. You could highlight live music. You could highlight transpo. You could talk I mean, there's so much.
They managed to pave a good portion of the road, both sides, up and down for miles in like days. It was amazing. The efficiency of the work crews paving the roads there are definitely something that I would transplant to Charlottesville.
There you go. That's one. Kevin Yancey says fresher seafood, Judah. That's one for you.
Yeah.
I will highlight this. Charlottesville is fortunate to have excellent seafood purveyors. Mm-hmm. Anderson's on Ivy Road. Ted Anderson is doing amazing work. His kid's now actively involved in the business. Mm-hmm. Anderson's on Ivy Road is excellent. Crozet Seafood, if you have yet to try Crozet Seafood, it is very, very good. And I'm going to tell you a little secret if you do not know this. And I hope this gets back to Mick Markley, friend of the program, talented chef, formerly the chef and food and beverage aficionado behind Mangione's on Main. Mm-hmm. Mick Markley makes a mean seafood sandwich. You like lobster rolls? Try the one at Crozet Seafood, Mick Markley's special. Across from the Harris Teeter. It's very, very good. I also want to highlight this experience. My wife and I took our two sons to Endless View Farm. It's in the Waynesboro, Augusta County area. Endless View Farm for their fall festival. We had a fantastic time at Endless View Farm. Our 6-year-old was using what is essentially a super deluxe potato gun. You know, those guns that shoot potatoes?
Yeah.
This one was on steroids, and it shot apples at a rusted up, beat up car. He had 10 shots that ripped apples. If this thing shot someone from 25 or 30 yards away, it could kill somebody. That's how fast these apples were coming out. And he was ripping these apples at a rusted up, beat up car. There was a massive jumping pillow trampoline. There was duck races. There was goats. There were sheep. There were cows to pet.
Nice.
Bubbles to blow. A train to ride. Endless View Farm in Augusta County, Waynesboro area. Cool. We closed the Sunday afternoon by visiting downtown Waynesboro, where they had the Fall Foliage Festival. And then we finished at Basic City Brewery, where Daddy got some daddy juice, the Basque Dippa ×2, and Mommy got some mommy juice, the Sixth Lord. We also had some lunch. The boys played the arcade games. What's the hockey game that you can play in the arcade where it's got the air that blows out?
Air hockey?
Air hockey, thank you very much. That's why you're here, Judah. You make the big bucks for the air hockey. Thank you very much. Played a little basketball game in the arcade where we shot the basketballs as well. Waynesboro is thriving. Mm-hmm. If you, viewer and listener, want an opportunity to take your family somewhere, and this is coming from someone who bleeds Charlottesville, bleeds the downtown, bleeds Albemarle County, Waynesboro is thriving. Downtown Waynesboro is full. It is humming with foot traffic. There are no vacancies. The Fall Foliage Festival in downtown Waynesboro was going toe-to-toe with the Crozet Arts and Crafts Festival. Nice. Separated by maybe, 15 miles? I don't know the exact separation as the crow flies. It doesn't matter. The Crozet Arts and Craft Festival, I believe, was pay to play if you wanted to get in. The Fall Foliage Festival in downtown Waynesboro was free. And there were thousands of people there. I could not be more impressed with the Sunday afternoon we had at Endless View Farm with the kids walking around. Oh, another thing. Downtown Waynesboro had a DORA, designated outdoor refreshment area.
Nice.
Where we checked in, we paid, we showed ID, my wife and I got a bracelet, and they had $5 plastic cups of the coldest beer while live music was playing on. Luke Neer from WINA in Charlottesville Radio Group, the best seat in the house. I saw him playing the, what's the guitar, the bluegrass type guitar?
You're talking about not a ukulele, but a banjo.
He's playing the banjo. There was a big bass, the big bass playing,
Standing bass.
standing bass, two other people playing instruments. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time.
Nice.
If Charlottesville's government and Albemarle County, if they do not see what is happening with the competition from downtown Stanton, the competition from Zion's Crossroads, Louisa County, the competition from Waynesboro, the competition from downtown Culpeper, they are not reading the tea leaves correctly. Economic development is as much understanding what is in your jurisdiction and how to drive the economy locally as it is understanding what the competing jurisdictions adjacent to yours are doing. And I'm seeing downtown Stanton, I'm seeing Zion's Crossroads, I'm seeing Culpeper downtown, and I'm seeing Waynesboro downtown literally taking our middle class from Charlottesville and Albemarle County, taking our middle class consumer and the important dollars that go with it. An economy is as strong as its middle class. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. We can be all in the clouds and on megaphones like Albemarle County was with Afton Scientific, the biotech firm down Avon Extended that had the governor, Glenn Youngkin, 2 weeks ago, was in Albemarle County. And he was championing, was it a $200 million investment with Afton Scientific? Let me get the exact number. It'll be at the top of Google search. Glenn Youngkin. They're expanding. Yeah, I was right. Trust the instinct, Jerry, and trust the memory. It's an elephant's memory. $200 million to create a couple hundred jobs. We can talk about that all day. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. We can talk about Paul Manning and the $100 million for the Fontaine Biotech UVA research. We could talk friend of the program, Jeffrey Woodruff's data science school all day, and it's a big deal. Thousands of jobs being created. Northrop Grumman, couple $100 million at Waynesboro for that new facility, average $94,000 salary for those jobs. We can talk about those. But if at the same time we are not finding jobs for the middle class of our community, or we're allowing the middle class of our community to move to the tree streets of Waynesboro. My wife and I were driving up and down the tree streets of Waynesboro. We were hoping our 22-month-old would sleep in the back of the family Ford Explorer. He wasn't sleeping. He's showing signs of getting out of the afternoon nap. Oh, Lord. We had to cut the binky. You know what the binky is, the passy? Yesterday was the first day no passy, no binky for the 22-month-old.
Wow.
That's a big deal, Judah. It's a big deal for sleeping through the night and self-soothing. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, we're going to try no passy, no binky, see if he sleeps in the Ford Explorer. We're going to drive through the tree streets. Have you taken a drive through the tree streets of Waynesboro? Oak, pine. Have you taken?
I haven't recently.
Ladies and
It's been a
gentlemen,
while.
you have the most beautiful Victorian homes within walking distance of a thriving downtown mall. If you're middle class and you're in Charlottesville, you ask yourself, if you're in the service industry and you're in Charlottesville, you're asking yourself, am I going to commute 45 minutes to the city for my job, or am I just going to work the same job here in downtown Waynesboro?
Yeah.
Fantastic time we had. All right. A lot we want to get to. I want to highlight some of the viewers and listeners watching the program. Dr. John Shabe, love this man. When John Shabe comments, I listen. He says, other jurisdictions are happy to have Albemarle County resident and business dollars. They appreciate their constituents. He says, Waynesboro has done an amazing rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. Downtown Waynesboro, John Shabe, you're 100% right. It's the first time I've been in downtown Waynesboro, and I saw your brewer. I saw your new brewer at the Endless View Farm, John, with his family. It was great to talk with him. I was in downtown Waynesboro, and I was blown away with the energy and the positivity and the foot traffic and the lack of vacant storefronts, the positive vibe. Mm-hmm. Blown away by it. Juan Sarmiento highlights Hilltop Seafood and Produce in Zion's Crossroads. Mateus John watching the program. Oh, I love when he watches the program. He says, very true, Waynesboro City knows how to attract visitors. He also says, Waynesboro parks are also underappreciated. Have you been to the new Sunset Park? I have not. We will try it. We live in Ivy. It's a hop, skip, and a jump from us. Hop, skip, and a jump. Vicki Harris says the show is fantastic. Logan Wells Claylo, welcome to the broadcast. I got a TV station and a newspaper watching us as we speak. All right, lead of the program, J-Dubs. The show's today's version of the newspaper. What's the lead of the show?
UVA is attempting to evict fraternity members.
Can you help? Can you make this make sense for me?
No.
I mean, you want to set the stage for us on this one?
I mean, all I can figure is that the investigator who recently resigned was very much a part of UVA's feeling their policy on fraternities.
Okay, we need to set the who, what, when, where, why stage first.
With his leaving, the city, the UVA is attempting to tell Theta Chi, the fraternity that recently lost its charter. It's telling them that it needs to evict the fraternity members that are living in their off-campus, privately owned
off grounds.
house.
First, okay. Let me set the who, what, when, where, why. Okay. So I have the benefit of succinct. Okay. Hazing, Theta Chi, investigation. UVA didn't like the hazing that Theta Chi was doing. Mm-hmm. The extent of the hazing consisted of wall sits, push-ups, sprints, carrying a pledge pack. In the pledge pack were cigarettes, condoms, and other things brothers asked the pledges to have on their person. They required the pledges to memorize the fraternity creed and other facts about brotherhood. They made the pledges eat hot sauce and drink. I did way worse as a pledge of Phi Kappa Psi. I don't find what they did actually hazing. You want to know what hazing is? Don't sleep for 3 straight days. We had to do that.
I mean, it's all
Eat
hazing. Just because it's not heinous
Eat
doesn't mean
live
it's not
goldfish.
hazing, but
7 of them. We had to do that. Drink skunky keg beer that's been sitting outside for weeks. We had to do that. Wall sits for hours. To Judah's point, in 2024, hazing is this. You know what hazing is in 2024? You gave somebody a high five, and that high five was a little bit too hard. You're hazing. You gave someone a chest bump, and that chest bump was a little too physical. You're hazing. What, Judah, you're going to say the hot sauce?
No, now you're just being goofy. I mean, you're not serious, right?
I am being serious. And most people are, many people think how I'm thinking. But that's not the point of what we're talking about here. The point of what we're talking about here is UVA's administration deemed what I outline as so severe that they suspended Theta Chi's fraternal order agreement. These are all facts. The earliest that they could reapply as part of this suspension is 2028, 2029. Fact. You have 10 brothers living in the Theta Chi house that can't move out of the Theta Chi house because they're telling the University of Virginia all the leases for off-grounds housing have been signed. We have nowhere to go. UVA says, I don't give a duck. Quack, quack, quack. Get out of the house or we're going to add more time to your suspension. And now Theta Chi national chapter is saying, you don't own our house. You don't own the dirt our house is on. We're telling you these students may be homeless. We've put in their leases with us, the national chapter who owns the house in the dirt, that they can't have parties, they can't have social gatherings, they can't have late night activities, they can't haze, they can't rush or pledge or get students to join the fraternity. They can't do any of this. But all we're asking you, UVA, is to allow these men to continue living in this house that doesn't even have letters on it anymore because they will be homeless otherwise, and the parents are backing up what we're signing. And UVA says, I still don't give a duck. quack, 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 get the hell out of your house, go find somewhere else to live. That's it. And you know what I just said is right there, right?
Yeah, I think the fact that the university, I think the fact that there are no apartments to rent is beside the point and unrelated to anything here. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that the university is trying to force them to evict the students from private housing, which is patently absurd.
Patently absurd. We're such, and welcome back, Jerry and Judah, okay? This is the Monday topic of the talk show. We're in such a woke time for the University of Virginia that a university who's in charge of helping students mature from teenage years into adulthood, a university experience is a rite of passage. And the administration and the infrastructure in charge of creating a safe rite of passage for students based on education and based on understanding social norms or maturing as men and women, this infrastructure is saying to 10 men, we would rather you be homeless than live in the house that was a fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a terrifying period we are living in right now. Terrifying period we're living in, where a university would rather make students the sacrificial lambs of their agenda and or their propaganda, as opposed to doing what is best for those 10 men. If you were a parent of one of those 10 men, I can't imagine what my wife would do. I can't imagine what Mama Bear would do. And that's what's happening right now. I've said this so many times on this program, I don't recognize the university I attended.
Yeah.
I've said that so many times on this program. To make 10 men the sacrificial lamb for an overall agenda ploy is dirty and despicable. And it's a natural segue into the next topic, if you want to put the lower third on screen. Over the weekend, in the Daily Progress, the only issue I have with here is the anonymity of the doctors that are questioning UVA Health. Ginny Hu says, I hope some of those brothers come from 1% families and they sue the HE double hockey sticks out of the University of Virginia.
No doubt.
UVA doesn't own the house, they don't own the grounds. But they're trying to say what you can or cannot do with your lease of your property.
Yeah.
Think about the overreach right there. If they're going to tell a landlord what they can or cannot do with their private property. Mm-hmm. Property owners have rights. I learned that from Neil Williamson. Right, Neil? What are the property rights of Theta Chi in this scenario? The next headline over the weekend in the Daily Progress, there was an anonymous. Did you read the article?
Yeah.
What jumped out at you? Do you want to do the succinct who, what, when, where, why?
No.
Come on, you got this. The succinct who, what, when, where, why. Bullet point fashion. Give it to him.
I mean, the succinct is basically the fact that with all of these allegations coming out about the University of Virginia healthcare system, I think some people are correctly wondering how much of all of these national rankings that we've been seeing so much of recently are affected by false numbers. If the university really is filling out false information to cover their butts and to make the university look good, how accurate can these rankings really be?
There it is. That is a fair question. That is a fair question.
Yeah.
You watch the I Love Seville show. You watch what we talk about here. We try to cut through the BS and we ask questions. And we have conversation that is authentic. It's real. It may not be what's popular and it may not be the norm. And you may agree with some of it and you may disagree with some of it. But one thing we are is true to the story. And what's true to the story is you have national rankings, statewide rankings being attributed to a health system where doctor after doctor, physician after physician are claiming that the stats are juked.
Yeah.
This is The Wire all over again with juking the stats. Bunny Colvin, Amsterdam, and juking the stats. If the stats are juked, if medical charts are being changed, if patients and their families are being incorrectly or fraudulently billed, and if middle management is being told by upper management and C-suite, you better do this or you ain't getting a promotion, and if you talk about this with anyone, we're going to drop the hammer on you. How much are those national rankings and statewide rankings worth?
Yeah.
And it's a fair question.
Very
It's a
fair.
fair question. That's what the over the weekend article in the Daily Progress was about. The only issue I have with those that are speaking out is they're not speaking out like I'm speaking out right now. You see me on screen or you hear me? What's on screen right below my name? Put our names on screen. It says Jerry Miller. It says Judah Wickhauer. Name.
We're not employed by UVA, though.
Dude, if you're going to talk the talk, if you're going to walk the walk and talk the talk, you better put your name on it. Only issue I got. The next headline. What is it?
Let's see. Our fine and now retired Charlottesville attorney.
You want to do the who, what, when, where, why on that?
I think our viewers know most of it, but the local news has been doing some digging.
NBC 29.
And found that, found that the former city attorney, Stroman, who retired after spending, 4 months on paid leave, has received a $162,000 severance package.
How much work did he do on the clock while in Charlottesville as the city attorney?
I mean, he was here and actually working for, was it 9 months? 8 months?
City of Charlottesville did well by Mr. Stroman.
He did very well. I love that kind of work less than a year at a job.
I asked you to
4 months paid leave and then get a severance package that's essentially, what are you going to do?
Sounds like somebody had
Take
some
a year off?
Sounds like somebody had some leverage.
Could be.
He had
But
some
who-
leverage.
Who is it? He had leverage?
Obviously.
What kind of leverage? I mean,
I would imagine, and I don't know this
doesn't
for
our city
conversation.
have
I
a
don't.
history of giving fairly good severance packages?
I'm spitballing here. I don't think the city has a very good history of giving good severance packages.
What about
You're going to highlight Dr. Brackney? The extent of what Dr. Brackney's severance package was, I'm going to sue you, Charlottesville, because you're not giving me one, and I'm going to sue you because you fired me because I was a black woman.
That's not a severance package, though.
Right. She didn't get one. So then she had to initiate a lawsuit against the city to try to squeeze some money out of it, and nothing materialized. City of Charlottesville said, you want to sue us? We're going to do nothing. Your lawsuit is meaningless. You got an attorney from the late Johnny Cochran's law firm to come to Charlottesville and to come to City Hall in a three-piece suit and to do a dog and pony show with a press conference and to try to intimidate us. And we're going to sit back and do nothing. And you know what happened to that lawsuit?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
I'm not sure why we're talking about Brackney, though.
My point is this. It doesn't have, I wouldn't say it has maybe you can make the argument a severance package histories with the city manager. And they've paid a lot of city managers severance. Mike Murphy. Is it Maurice Jones? Sorry, I just kicked your camera. All right, I'll stand corrected. Maurice Jones, Mike Murphy, they got good severance packages. Judy, I'll give you your point there. That one will work right there. Who was the interim city manager? Gosh, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on him. Came on the programs digitally. Chip. You got this. Chip Boyles, my boy Chip Boyles, my boy CB. He got a severance package. You had the city manager who took the job and then quit the job before his first day on the clock.
Yeah.
Michael C. Rogers, he didn't need a severance package.
No.
All right, I'll give you, there's a history of severance package. Strobing got $162, 162,000. That ain't bad, huh?
Not at all.
Mr. Stroman, I sent you a LinkedIn request. You accepted it. Thank you, sir. Mr. Stroman, I also sent you a LinkedIn message on Saturday morning to see if you would be willing to join us on the show. If you do join us on the show, you have my word as a man, and you can ask any other guest that's been on this program that the interview would be fair and the questions would be open-ended, sir. Please join us on the program, Mr. Stroman. Please. And just tell your side of the story. Next headline, please.
Next headline is Cav Crossing buyers feeling local government pressure.
All right, here's the nitty-gritty on this one. Mike Pruitt, Albemarle County Supervisor, Scottsville District. First year on the job, Supervisor Pruitt. He reads in the Charlottesville Tomorrow nonprofit news website, cvilletomorrow.org. Interestingly, they have a manager-editor position that is up for grabs. They just hired their managing editor. Now they're having to replace the managing editor again. He reads on Cville Tomorrow that Cavalier Crossing, an affordable apartment complex on Old Lynchburg Road, has been sold. And it's been sold to an out-of-market buyer. And the out-of-market buyer is notorious. Is notorious the right word? Or has a precedent? It's a fine line between notorious and has a precedent of taking affordable housing, buying it, and converting it into a luxury for-rent real estate. 560 apartments. Many of those apartments rented, apartments that rent for $560 a month.
Yeah, single bedrooms.
Single bedrooms that rent
Not
for
necessarily
$560 a month.
apartments.
One of the few places in Charlottesville and Albemarle County that you could rent by the bedroom,
Yeah.
which made them affordable. You're not having to rent the apartment suite in totality. You can rent individual bedrooms and be grouped with strangers.
Yeah.
And these out-of-market buyers said, guys, this real estate model, student housing, was failing. If we kept it at $560 a month for individual units, this apartment complex, Cavalier Crossing, would not be able to sustain itself. So we are going to buy a distressed asset, and we're going to do a 1031 exchange by selling a portion of an apartment building that we own in Norfolk to buy this one over the city line in Albemarle County. And we're going to then take this apartment complex and we're going to remodel it and then we're going to re-rent it
Yeah.
at a higher price point. Mike Pruitt learned about this for the first time on Cville Tomorrow. And then he used the influence of government to put a little pressure on the out-of-market buyer and to help the tenants that were not screwed. The tenants were not screwed. Are you going to argue with me that they were screwed?
No.
Okay. Tenants who had their leases not renewed. He offered some assistance with the tenants using taxpayer money to help them with security deposits at the next place that they were renting. And then he went to the out-of-market buyer and said, you need to create an exit package that is a little bit more communicative to the folks you're displacing. And that exit package is going to include other apartment complexes that they should consider renting themselves that they may not know about. And the out-of-market buyer, a huge REIT that's got billions under holdings, billions of assets under holding in their holding portfolio, the out-of-market buyer said, okay, the interesting wrinkle of this article that should have caught your attention and my attention and everyone's attention that read it is the out-of-market buyer is considering adding more density at this space. And if Bonaventure were to apply for a rezoning, it would be the Board of Supervisors that would have to grant it. So the out-of-market buyer needs the Board of Supervisors to grant it the rezoning to add more density at this location. And that is called what, Judah?
Blackmail?
Leverage. How is that called blackmail?
If you don't do something that we want to do, then
Government doesn't have to give them the zoning, the approval to rezone their property.
I didn't say they did.
So then it can't be blackmail.
Okay.
It's leverage. Government realized, and Bonaventure realized, that if they were going to add more density to the site, they needed the green light from the Board of Supervisors to do it. So of course they're going to appease one of the people on the board that's asking them to improve the exit package of letting tenants know where to go, and here's some other resources that you may need to find some other places to live. And that's how business works. And whether people want to hear this or not, this is what the reality is. The CEO of this company, and this company is a pros pro company, Dwight Dutton, the founder and CEO of Bonaventure Multifamily Income Trust, he said this: we bought the property with the intention of converting it to a market property rather than a buy-the-bedroom failed student housing as a way to make sure this property continued to serve the community for many years to come, albeit serve potentially different residents than some of the residents that are currently living there now. But if this were to continue under the current approach, the property would not be able for anyone to live because it is not economically sustainable the way it is now.
Mm-hmm.
What is he saying? What is he saying right there?
What is he saying? I mean, I thought it was right there.
What is he saying?
He's saying we can't make this work at the prices that it's currently at.
Exactly. And he's saying, if we keep it the way it is, it's just going to basically crumble down and close, and no one's going to be able to keep maintaining it because the numbers don't support it. Mm-hmm. And then Albemarle County would lose it on its tax rolls. We're come in and pump millions, if not tens of millions of dollars into it. And we're going to keep it on the tax rolls of Albemarle County. And then he says it's going to fit a tenant model of what, 80% AMI?
I mean, that should be fairly easy, right?
60 to 80% AMI. 2024, that's $73,000 for a family to $97,000 for a family. That's extremely easy. Yeah. If your family household is pushing $97,000, 80% AMI, and you're renting instead of owning, you're going to lease this all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Or just not worry about it.
Right. There it is. All right, the next headline, what do you got? At the 127 marker, I got a 145 real estate showing, and I got a 3 o'clock real estate showing today. What's the next headline you got?
Mike Kochis.
I need to highlight this. I did a post of Chief Kochis in the I Love Seville studio. When Chief Kochis took the job, I went and looked at my Google. Do you use Google Drive?
Yeah.
On your phone, though? to help archive your photos and videos to make sure it doesn't erode the space on your iPhone?
No.
So you'll find when you're popping out, when you have bambinos and kids, that you love to take photos and videos of your children. And they're your most precious memories, and you never want to delete them. And if they just stay in your photo library, it just crushes your phone and the space it has. So what you want to do is back it up with Google Drive on your phone. So that'll free up space for you to actually use your phone for functional purposes. Mm-hmm. So I was flipping through Google Drive, and I got a picture of Chief Kachis from when he came on the program.
Yeah.
I think it was sometime last year. Then I did a little research. In September of 2022, Chief Kachis took the job in January of 2023. Do you have the lower third on screen, the right one?
Yeah.
He took the job in January in 2023. So he has been on the job, what, a year and a half and change. Right before he took the job, 27% of the Charlottesville Police Department was vacant.
Yeah.
Chief Brackney had demoralized the police department to the point where 27%, 1 in 4 jobs, could not be filled. Chief Kachis takes the job in January of 2023 in the middle of a crime spree like Charlottesville had not seen in a long time. We had dubbed Charlottesville as the OK Corral. There were murders, including one on the downtown mall, and gunfights in the parking lot of the Omni Hotel. Mm. Chief Kachis has filled the police department, has changed morale, has changed the brand and the perception. Chief Kachis has diminished crime. He's solved cases. And I can make a very convincing argument that Chief Kachis has had a more profound positive impact on Charlottesville City than anyone since COVID. I would challenge anyone to give me a name that has had a more profound impact, positive impact on the city than Chief Kachis since COVID. Can you think of anyone?
I think he's done a great job. I agree.
Little historical perspective for you. When he took the job, 27% of the department was vacant. The brand that was CPD was at its lowest because of the previous police chief. And crime and murder were rampant. Complete 180 today. Mm-hmm. I hope Chief Kachis hears that. What other things we got on the docket? Well, Holly Foster says, do you think Jacob Stroman signed an NDA when he got that severance package?
It's a good question.
It's a great question. She's basically saying if he signed an NDA, would he be able to come on the program? She said she feels for the homeless frat boys and hopes the parents will sue. What's the next question as we wind down the program, the next topic?
Done deals?
I hate to say this to you, Judah, but I don't think you're going to win the Lewis Mountain bet.
Oh, I haven't thought I was going to win for quite a while.
Okay. We have a bet on how many homes will come on the market in the Lewis Mountain neighborhood. Because of the, I'll add a little color to this. I ran into one of the developers that has got a project in the new zoning ordinance, local project. I said to him, how is your project going? And he said, not good. I said, why? He says, we're at a complete standstill because we haven't heard anything from the city. Exact words.
Par for the course.
Exact words. In regards to the Lewis Mountain neighborhood, Judah and I have a bet. The bet is how many homes will be for sale, not sold, but for sale, listed in the Lewis Mountain neighborhood. Mm-hmm. The over-under was put at 9. Anything under 9, I win. Anything over 9, Judah wins. Judah's at 3 right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we now know the sales price of some of those homes that Judah has. in the 3 category that were listed and have now since closed. I was taken aback by these price points. 2025 Thompson Road, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,754 square foot house on a postage stamp of a lot built in 1954, sold in September the 16th for $1,155,000. $1,155,000. 2003 Lewis Mountain Road, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 221 square feet, postage stamp lot, built in 1930, a year that's basically 100 years old, sold for $930,000. And the third home on Judah's list, 307 Alderman Road, which is right next to where those townhomes are going to be built, sold for $700,000. This is a realtor that was an owner agent. 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,300 square feet, 035 acres. Posh, Tony, affluent. You got a house that is 1,300 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, with the $700,000 acquisition tag, despite being next to a job site for the next 18 months. Mm-hmm. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Then you got 2 other homes, one at $1,155,000, $1,155,000 on a home that was built in 1954, and another one, $930,000 on a home that's basically 100 years old. It's the last topic, football.
Yeah.
I encourage you to tune into the Jerry and Jerry Show tomorrow at 10:15 a.m., where we'll talk about this Virginia football team, a tough loss against the Louisville Cardinals. There are no moral victories in college football. There are no moral victories. And Virginia should have won that football game. That go for it on 4th down in the first half at the end of the first quarter instead of kicking the field goal was a coaching blunder. I don't care how you put it. Oh, if it went his way, we would be calling him a genius. It did not go his way. And when you're paid $4.5 million and you make mistakes like not kicking field goals at the end of the first quarter in a 7-7 game, that's a coaching blunder. You lose to Maryland, you lose to Louisville. We're not going to say how we did last year. Oh, they lost so many games by just a few points. It's a moral victory. That's BS. And you look at the schedule, you got Clemson on the docket. What are they, the 10th ranked team in the nation, Judah? Clemson Tigers?
Sure.
10th in the nation. You think they're going to win in Death Valley? The Maryland game and the Louisville game should have gone Virginia's way. And that would have made bowl eligibility as you go into the meat and potatoes of the schedule. Now they got 4 wins, and you got to look at that schedule, and you got to ask yourself, where's the next one going to come from? And I'll close with this. That stadium, 40% full. You're talking a 60,000 person stadium with 24,000 people in it. And everyone on TV saw it. And all the merchants locally see it. The fan base sees it. Apathy, the program, drowning in it. And multiple business owners have reached out and said, hey, there's 18, 25, 30 days a year that determine whether we make money or not. And 40% full stadiums aren't going to do it because those 6, 7 home games are the ones that determine whether we make money or not. Mm-hmm. It's the Monday edition of the show. We're back, baby. We're back. And we got changes to the I Love CVille network that we're excited to announce all throughout the week. Judah Wickhauer, Jerry Miller, the I Love CVille show. So long.